zero or something.
Fruit bubble. But folks, just feel free, we're just gonna have a conversation with Mick, so just feel free to ask questions.
Mickey, what are your impressions, first of all, the early enrollees, specifically the wide receivers?
Well, first off, we're talking about the largest mid-year group that I've ever been involved with. So it's a lot of years and a lot of guys. So number one, from a size standpoint, it's pretty impressive. From a togetherness, like serious standpoint, like these guys are ready. They came mentally ready for what's coming. They came focused into it. It's a really good group. We just had a meeting and everybody in our department talked about how well the freshmen were doing, just, taking care of their business. The wideouts, obviously you have those four guys, they're all different. You got Mookie, who's 195-pound boat-up guy, kind of a quick guy. You got Mookie, who's 195-pound boat-up guy, kind of a quick guy. And you got G, who's kind of like Austin Mackich. Then you got Julian, and then you got Jackson. So they're all different. They've been great. I love their work ethic. I love their focus so far. We've separated them just because it's such a big group. So we'll separate them all the way until the end of January, and we'll start integrating them with the other guys.
You mean separate as the wide receivers group? Or
No, separate them as the mid-year freshman group.
Oh, I see.
Because they're on a different plan. Like their fitness levels aren't with the other guys are.
Can, in terms of those receivers, obviously you haven't seen them on the field yet, but can you get a sense of just, they're the most touted group and God knows how long, of just what they could become?
I think they can be as good as they want to be, but the receivers that have been here in the past have put in an important amount of work in to get to where they were. If you look at Terry McLaurin, if they do that and they follow the culture that has been built in that room, hopefully they haven't put pads on yet, at least at here, so we'll see. But just focus so far and all that, you hope. I mean, they have to be.
Nick, how much conversation is there? These guys work out. You have the whole team about that game, the way the season ended. Is that a big? You guys use that as motivation? How much?
There's a sign on the
What's it say?
whatever the score was.
Okay. In your experience, when you've had these kinds of, I don't know, tough losses or things that you want to use as catchphrases, how effective can those be? And how
They
many?
can be as effective as you want them to be, based on what kind of team you have. So the good thing is the quarterback's back, and he's completely different than he was 365 days ago because of what he did and falling short. So
Was there any thought for you about the wound is so fresh, maybe let's not talk about it right away? Or do you prefer to throw it right at him?
throw it right at it.
How is
It's real.
how is the quarterback different? I mean, explain what you mean from a.
Well, I think like last year when he showed up, he was quiet. He was trying to fit in. He was trying to find the nutrition room. He was trying to find his classes. He wasn't sure about the workout. He didn't know who his buddies were. It's cold. Everything. I mean, he didn't know anybody. Now all of a sudden, he's the starting quarterback. He's earned a reputation of being a hard worker. He knows he's the leader now. He knows what needs to be done. He has a whole different mindset of the offense and where that needs to go. He knows that he has to do a great job with those young receivers. So to me, it's like completely different.
Is he restricted right now from
None, zero.
Yeah. Are you surprised to see that, or I mean, or did y'all expect that? I mean,
I expect it.
yeah. The other thing, Mick, do you, during this time, do you have specific position group stuff that y'all do from a, quarterback's arms getting stronger, things like that? I mean, and how does it specifically pertain to the quarterbacks? What's some generally, what do y'all do?
I think right now is kind of a general time, just general fitness, getting them back into strength training and running and flexibility and mobility. But what we do is we break down two ways. So what I do is I look at the team that just left, or the team prior, and then you look at what you have coming back, and then you look at the team building, like what we need to do for the team. Like last year was completely different, 2016 was different, 14 was different. So they're all different from a team standpoint. Then you break down each individual of what their needs are. So somebody needs to get stronger, somebody needs to get in better shape, someone needs to gain weight, someone needs to be a better leader, someone needs to be disciplined better, someone needs to eat better, and they all have those individual goals. And what we did this year was a little different, is we gave them like a 6-question self-evaluation project, where they had a list. Number one was what motivates them. Not what we want them to be motivated by, but what motivates them. So for example, let's use Jeremy Rucker. Jeremy Rucker, what motivates me? What is the question? He lists whatever that is. The next one was give me 3 goals of the off season for you, that you have. Your goals could be get a better GPA. It could be a better teammate. It could be going to bed earlier, whatever it is. And then a couple other questions pertaining to like what your unit can expect from you, what your teammates can expect from you. And then what we did was we put them in the locker room, on the lockers, so everybody can see everybody's goals.
Yeah.
So if someone needs help, then the leader grabs them and says, this isn't your goal, you're not doing it. So it's kind of cool, or they need help,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So we're trying to be very transparent, more than we've ever been. We're trying to like help each other. If somebody does something right or wrong, we're calling it out, we're teaching them. I mean, I'm just trying to make it as focused and as focused as they can be.
Like you mentioned the mental preparedness of the early enrollees. Have you seen a difference in their physical preparedness coming in as opposed to previous
It
years?
varies. It varies. You got guys like Paris Johnson, who, he's been training at a level since he was in 8th grade,
Right.
differently than, one of the other linemen. It's just all different. I try to figure that out. You really can't.
How do you?
I'll tell you what, when kids that come from the state of Texas, they've got a pretty good development. Here's what I see: the state of Ohio, state of Texas. There's actually strength programs that does that make sense?
Yeah. I was gonna ask about Jackson because he came in with a little limp after
Yeah.
hurting himself. Have you had to restrict him at all?
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Mick,
Yep.
when you have players who, you guys recruit them, maybe they're a linebacker, but there's some thought that perhaps down the line he could get bigger and become a defensive end, something like that. How does your staff factor into that? How much back and forth is there about how guys are changing and ultimately like the decisions when a guy does make a position switch, like how much are you involved in that?
Involved very heavily. I think what we do is just naturally see what happens, because you can't stop nature, and it's gonna happen. Just guys gaining weight just because their bodies are maturing, they're getting, just getting bigger. Because if there's a guy like, if you have Javante Jean-Baptiste is a perfect example. When he was recruited on his recruiting trip, he weighed 195 pounds when he stood on the scale. Like, I don't know about you, but you can't play defensive end in the Big Ten at 195 pounds. He was a guy that reminded me when I was at Cincinnati. Those are the kind of guys, you just development guys, right? Well, Javante right now weighs 248 pounds. So over a period of 2 years, we knew that his frame would be able to put that weight on. And when there's a position change, like a DB going linebacker going, that just happens kind of naturally, and you just see what, what your needs are, and if they can do it or not.
Are you and the coaches usually on the same page with that, or are there times where you'll look at a guy and you'll see maybe because you have a better eye for it that's what's going to happen with that guy?
Yeah, they lean on me a lot, just from the experience, because I always had a player like, he reminds me of this guy, he reminds me of this guy. But sometimes they'll be like, well, we want to keep him outside, we want to keep him a guard, we want to keep him here, and then we work together and just make sure that the plan is on point of where we want to.
How did it go with a guy like Case Over, for instance? I think he was recruited, most people thought he was a linebacker, now it's how he's going to play defensive end. Like, was that, in your mind, the plan all along? Or
Well, I mean, he's 6'4" or whatever, he's 225 pounds when he gets here, and you can just see his bones, and it's like he's probably gonna get big. But you never say they can't until you just let the season play out, and, just see what happens.
I'm curious, Coach, from a month-by-month standpoint, all the way to August 1st, what are the things that you guys are focusing on? As you mentioned a minute ago, what you're working on now. Obviously, you have a month in there, we have spring practice.
Mhm.
Just what are the things that you guys focus on a month-by-month?
So, that's a great question. So, like, right now in January, we've got, it's general training. but we got them in three that they played on the field. You have your advanced group, so your Josh Myers, Wyatt Davis, Jonathan Cooper, guys that have played a lot of ball here, so their bodies they've taken a lot of hits, so we gotta train them at a different pace. And then you got your new guys, which are your 15 mid-years. So they all have different needs, especially the first 3 weeks, and then we start integrating them. The month of February is kind of the month that, like, we hold our hat on around here, like, that's when it's dark and it's early and it's hard and it's adverse and it's everything that you want out of it. Month of March, you got spring ball, but I call it perpetual development. From the time they walk in that door from the first day to the time they leave and go to play in a Senior Bowl, it's perpetual development. You're trying to get better every day you're in here, every month, every year as you go through.
Mick, coaches always talk about your input, Urban and now Ryan. After the playoff and you engaged with these guys again, was there some slant or take or edge that you brought to the table that you're trying to get across to them in this period?
There's always something, but I always, I do it from a specific standpoint and a general standpoint. Obviously, every winter, it's about development. It's like, what is the off season for? It's not to, whatever. It's not for that. It's not for this. It's for development. It's for individual development. So that takes precedent over everything. And then as you slowly, because it's a new team. Every team's different. That's why I love doing this, is because January is different every year, and it just you figure out about your team, and then you find out the strengths and the weaknesses, and then you look back to see, okay, what happened last year, and how can we either enhance that or change that, and just slowly build that thing when it comes to, when we used to do the keys and all that stuff with Urban, but now it's just here's the team, let's rock and roll. Because now it's different. The rules are different. Coaches are allowed to be involved in actual drill work and conditioning in the summer, which has been great. And we've been focusing more on that as well as just general stuff.
Do you ever look at the guys and just say, yeah, this is, I don't know, this is a great group, this is 10-2, this is 12-0, this is, look at the talent in this,
You can.
You can, what are you seeing right now?
Oh, way too early. Way too early.
Mick,
Way too early.
Mick, with the leaders that you lost off that team last year, I don't know there would be a concern for you that you'd be able to replace it, but how long does it take until you can kind of get a feel for these are going to be guys we think are going to be captains in August?
It almost happens like naturally. Like the leaders last year emerged naturally. Like obviously we're promoting leadership all the time, and really it's being a great teammate more than anything else. But it just kind of happens, and you just kind of see how it goes, and it just keeps rolling. And then you see guys like Jeff Okuda, who had merged, in August he wasn't a leader. He was just a really good player that's playing corner and is fired up because he's got a new coach and he's ready to rock and roll. We got a new defense, whatever. All of a sudden as the season starts rolling, the kid starts changing now. You know what I mean? But for example, you look back last year, and right now mid-January, J.K. Dobbins had a whole different look on his face now. He looked like, he looked like Robert Conrad. Remember the commercial, knocked the battery off? He looked like chip on his shoulder, a little chicken hawk guy on Bugs Bunny. Like, you could tell right away that he had a chip on his shoulder, and it's gonna be different, and it was. So you could tell with some guys, just.
So have you seen Chips right now? I mean,
too early to tell.
it was January last year, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who we got.
Mick, is Marcus Crowley gonna be okay for spring?
I'm not sure.
What about Cameron Babb?
He's participating in all training.
So he's good to go. What's it been like just keeping his spirits up?
Great kid. He's been a great kid. I mean, great person, great worker, great teammate. He's so positive. It's been awesome. I mean, he's best of the best.
Speaking of positivity, have you seen Kerry yet?
Oh yeah, he was there first thing in the morning.
What do you think? What do you think about that? The return.
Oh, it's awesome. We love it.
What does he bring?
He brings an energy level like just. He's in there at 5:30 in the morning lifting weights, drinking his coffee, being around the bush, talking to everybody, lifting weights, just Energizer Bunny. He'll bring that. I mean, you guys know what he is.
Yeah. What do you think he'll bring though, having been in the league now? I mean, you know, what does that do, you think, for?
I think it does a lot. I think it does a lot for, the experience level. I think it brings a lot for like, you know, I shouldn't say instant credibility, but a little bit more credibility, because he's seen that side.
Yeah.
Because most of these kids want to get to that level.
Yeah.
Now he's seen it, so he's just putting more tools in his toolbox, and that's a big hammer that he's got.
How big of a replacement was it for you, for example, with Phil moving on? I mean, everybody looks at the coaching staff and they see where guys get replaced,
Yeah.
but don't pay as much attention sometimes to your staff and stuff.
Yeah, well, one of my, I guess, philosophies are the guys that come work, at least in the weight room as an assistant strength coach, they have to have ambition to be a director or a head strength coach, or they won't continue to grow. I don't want someone just kind of hanging out. So they're always doing that, and then part of my job is to help develop those guys, so when it's their time, when they're able to go, when they have that opportunity, they're ready to rock and roll. So we've had some go here, leave here, and do a great job.
Who have you placed him with?
We haven't yet.
You haven't yet?
We're in the process.
Mickey, every year when the freshmen, the early enrollees come in, it's a shock to their system. They probably are told what's gonna happen, but until you experience it, you can't know. How has this group responded to that compared to others? And I want to ask you also about the quarterbacks, the new quarterbacks.
Yeah, they, I don't wanna say they're better, because there's just more of them. It's like, I don't wanna say misery loves company, but, because it's not awful, it's good, it's great, they're really fired up. I just think it's easier when a bigger group, when there's 3 guys, that's a bad deal. Like, there's only 3 guys, they can't, there's nowhere for them to go. But this big group, they're always together, they're always pushing each other, because in that big group, you have more of a chance to have positive leadership early on than you do if you have 3 guys. So guys that have positive leadership, like we have a meeting every January. It's kind of it's my favorite day, my second favorite day of the year. First is match drills, and it's this. More so than football games and championship games, it's the meeting, because now you have a new team, and you almost kind of hit restart. You hit control, alt delete, start over, blank sheet of paper, and you really map out what the next 7, 8 weeks are gonna be about, and how you can change, and how you can improve, and how you can enhance, and what you need to do to, and in that meeting, it's hard, like it's like an Academy Award winning, you know, deal for me. Like, it's the biggest thing ever. And the first time I heard 2 or 3 guys come up and said, it was the best meeting I've ever heard. I can't wait to go. Most of the time, freshmen are like, oh, like, this is hard. So we had a couple guys right away. Julian Fleming and G. Scott, that's the best meeting ever. I can't wait. And we'll
Yeah,
see in mid-February.
I mean, Julian is, obviously the top-rated recruit. What are your impressions of him so far?
Obviously he's talented. So far, so good.
And the quarterbacks, CJ and Jack?
Yeah, they're good. They're once again, they're hungry. Like, you could see them being hungry and just trying, because they got to improve in some things physically. You could see them, you know, at least the vision of, I got to get there, I got to get there. Because you see Justin feels like it's probably not fair to see a 6'3.5", 230-pound, like, athlete like Justin that loves to lift weights. So
I would imagine it would help their development, knowing that there's a real chance to be the backup. I mean, that's
yeah,
the
you
motivation.
think.
Couple more questions, folks.
Mickey, how far had Jonathan Cooper come? He was so ready for last season, going up to August. What did you see from him that made you think last year could have been something special for him? And what does this mean that he gets another year? Like,
yeah, that's the hard part of this, man. He had that look in his eye. He was, you know, he was going to be a captain. He was captain.
Yeah.
Even injured, he was a captain. That's the worst part of this job. And it was, because you see, like, you guys don't see him every day. Even the football coaches don't see him every day. Like, the football trainer, the athletic trainers, the nutritionist, and the strength coach see him every single day. And you see what they put in. You see how much time and effort, and you see how much they sacrifice and dedication. All those things, you see it every day. And he is such an outgoing, positive, energized, juiced up leader. I mean, you want to be around him. And then you see when that happens, it's awful. But then you see another spark. He's like, okay, once he figured out like where his future was, I'm coming back and doing. And now he's like, it's almost like, give me something extra, give me something, relax, slow down. So it's cool.
Nick, what's the advantage of having a guy like Tuff in the weight room every day, just being like potential 3-time captain on the defensive side? Because I know you guys had a guy like JT there, but with the three-time captain, but to have a defensive guy as a potential,
Yeah, you need that guy. You just need him. He's the most dependable. He's one of the most dependable players I've ever been around in 30 years. And when it gets hard, it's easy. Like when it's easy, it's great. But when it starts getting hard, it starts getting into that week 5, 6, 7 where you're really grinding. You need leadership like that. And the younger players know that they can have somebody to lean on and somebody to look back and say, hey, how do you get through this? Or what should I do? Or, you know, and he's the epitome of what a collegiate athlete is in terms of preparation and training. And he wants to be a strength coach, so obviously.
you said that some of those things come naturally, but for him, was it just, you know, a progression, or was it a natural
It was a
thing? He was just a
progression.
leader?
It wasn't natural for him. It was hard. It's hard. Being a leader is hard because people say, well, he's a vocal leader. To me, there's no such thing. If you're going to be a leader, you got to have all three qualities. You got to be seen, you got to be felt, you got to be heard. If you don't have those three, you're not a leader. Like like when the NFL scouts come in, how does he lead? Vocally? I'm like, I don't know what that means. Does he do the other two? Then if he's vocal, yes, then he's a leader. But anybody can cheerlead. That doesn't mean you're a leader. Just, yeah, let's go. Like, you gotta be seen, felt, and heard all at the same time. That's what a leader does. That's what Justin's gotta do. That's what some of these players, now Chris Olave now all of a sudden is the leader that let's go. Like, you gotta be seen, felt, and heard. So that's what we're trying to teach them through this time now, because as they get it here in the next 8 weeks, they'll take that through spring ball, they'll take that through summer training, take it through August, and then hopefully they're ready to rock and roll in the season.
Did you see the J.K. Dobbins attitude
Yes.
change other people? I mean.
It did. It's like J.K., for example, great worker, great dude, great teammate, but he really wasn't that good of a leader because he was heard because he's outgoing, but he wasn't felt. He wasn't seen. He was, but he wasn't. So we worked on those over the summer for him to be a better leader. Yes, individually he's ready to, he has a chip, but if everybody can lead each other and everybody can follow each other and everybody can be a great teammate for each other, then remember I said you got two things. You got the personal development of each player, and then you got the team building aspect of it. And we kind of do it simultaneously. And then once the coaches get off the road and we start getting into our mat drills and our training and our conditioning sessions as a team, things really start. And then as a coaching staff, you start talking about how we can help this group, or how we can help this group, or what this guy needs. And then you really start talking, and because you don't know until you're in it. Like everybody signs, yep, I want to do this. And then once they figure out what it is, like, whoa, this isn't what I signed up for. So as you go, then you know who. Does that make sense?
You're obviously not on the field with the DBs, but that's the group that's getting a lot of attention on because they lost 3 players. What are your impressions of those guys, the younger guys, the
They got a lot of
Campbell?
work to do. There's no doubt. They got a lot of work to do. The young guys don't know. It's obviously Sean Wade's back. He knows what he's got. He knows. I sit down with every player that week that they got back from school. Every player. We talk about goals. We talk about how you can help the team. We can talk about what your value is, what you need to do this offseason. We write it down. We have objective goals. We have the subjective goals. And we talk about all different things. They have to, this is big, it's a big winner for them. They have to. Obviously, now Kerry's back and he recruited a lot of these guys, so, hopefully there's a connection already, but again, it's every day. You're here, you need to get there. It's not gonna be a straight line. It's not going up and across. It's not gonna go down and across. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be peaks and valleys every day, because you're talking about 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old young men that think they know, some do, some don't, and they're just growing. And that's the really fulfilling part of my job. It's not just the lifting and the running and all this physical stuff. It's that mental, just see that mental and emotional development that they make over a period of time, which is ridiculous. I mean, you can just go back since we've been here, I've been here. It's crazy to see the development.
From what you've seen of those guys, how likely is it that they're going to rise to the occasion?
No. Again, I'm a history guy, so you learn from history or you're condemned to repeat it. So we've had that same thing at 16 where those young guys had to step up. So hopefully they're gonna repeat what the guys in 16 did. We lost all that one group, and that other group stood up like, whoa, where'd these guys come from? So I'm leaning on history and, controllable factors of how we control what they do, how they do it, where they do it, when they do it, and then they control those things. We talk about just, being a tough guy isn't being a bully or being a physical guy that pushes somebody or after a play or whatever. Being a tough guy is doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it, and where you're supposed to do it at every single day. And if they can do that, then they're gonna improve, they're gonna reach their genetic potential as best they can, and really, that's all we can ask for. Just see how it goes.
Separating those freshmen from the rest of the groups, is that something you guys have always done? Is it only because of the size of it this year?
No, we always do, but, we start integrating a little bit faster based on their fitness levels. This year, I just felt we gotta keep this group together, cause, you got you're putting 14 or 15 guys right into spring football, like, so I just wanna make sure when it's time for them to go in, they're ready to be integrated with the rest of the team.
Because by having them separate, what do you feel like that allows you and your staff to do with them to help them?
Spend more time on technique, spend more time on, coachability, spend more time on, teaching, not just technique, but teaching of, take care of your body, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, the importance of this exercise as opposed to this exercise, where you need to be in 5 weeks, where you need to be in 4 weeks. And when you have your older players, it's kind of like chaotic, so you really can't do that because you're kind of focused on something else. Now you can put all your lasers right onto those young guys and get them going. And it's fun too to have those guys separate because you can kind of, like, you guys all understand recruiting and the things that happen in recruiting, and everybody's got to be nice to everybody. Like, you don't have to be nice to anybody. Some of the things that I had to go through when they're on campus recruiting and all the fun stuff, and like now it's real. So I go back to history. So
Master Teacher guy who's got a lot of eyes on this offseason. Just, I guess, how are we approaching what he has to do?
I mean, he's a guy like there's nobody. I shouldn't say no one, but there's very few out there that are physically fit like he is. I mean, he is. But he's got to take a leadership role like JK did. You want to talk about, he's very quiet. JK's outgoing. Master's the complete opposite. So Master's really got to take that on his, in the unit. They got to really work on that. That's hard. That's the most difficult thing, other than the physical stuff that these players do, is getting them out of their comfort zone when it comes time to be a leader, or where they have to, again, be felt, seen, and heard. Because once you jump over that river, you can't go back. Like, you can't go back. So if you're, if you've really worked hard, you've really been felt by your teammates, and now you're heard by your teammates, and you're doing everything the way you're supposed to do it, you jump over, I tell them, you jump over that river, you can't go back. Like a barrier goes up. You can't. Like Frogger, remember? Frogger gets that one side, you can't go back. All the things disappear. So I always gotta give them a visual, like, going through. It's really cold water, and might get frostbite and hypothermia and all that stuff.
Is the sky the limit for
Last
Zach
question
Harrison?
right here.
I'm sorry?
Is the sky the limit for Zach Harrison? What do you see different about him from a
See,
year?
here's another guy, like, a quick story on Zach. When he was recruited, I'm like, what are we doing? He was so quiet, he didn't wanna talk, he wouldn't look you in your eye, it was so awkward. I'm like, there's no way. I don't care if he runs a 200 meter with no cleats on, doesn't, like, what are we doing? And it's weird, like, the first day he was here, it was completely the opposite. I'm like, Zach, well, why were you like that in recruiting? He's like, I hated it, I didn't want to talk. He's like JK. Like, you see him, you feel him, and you hear him. You do all those things. Now he's got his ceiling's pretty high. He's got that high basement ceiling. And sometimes you go in those basements, they're real low.
Yeah.
Like houses that were built before 1980, like, he's got that 12-foot basement ceiling. He's got a high ceiling.
Like Chase ceiling, Bosa ceiling?
He's pretty talented, so we'll see.
Go ahead, Bill, last question over here.
Nick, I was just wondering, how many guys in your career you've worked with who are built like DeJuan Jones, and what it's like to get back to again?
None, zero. I take it back. I had one. When I was an assistant at West Virginia, we had a kid by the name of Johnny Ray. He was 6'10", 350. So he's a little shorter than Johnny, but he's bigger. He,
Is it fun to work with a guy like that?
oh, I love him. He's a great kid. Smiles all the time. And even when you're trying to like coach him really hard, he just looks at you like smiles like, it's good coach. He's so tall. The best thing is when he's with our nutritionist. Kayla's like, she's not very tall, and he's super tall, and he follows her around because he does exactly what she tells him to. So we got to be creative and keeping his weight down. So he likes basketball. So I told him I'll get one of our interns to feed him basketball. He can do jump shots for like 2 hours in a row and see how much he can sweat.
What is the target for him? I mean, what is the weight goal?
He's not. His body fat's not real high, so
Yeah.
it's.
And
Just
the
don't want to get it. He doesn't need to weigh anymore. He just needs to be able to bend and get strong.
reverse of that is Nick Petit-Frere. How's the bulking up going?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's over 300 pounds. He's doing good.
Mick, thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay.